Alright guys, I got a pistachio video finally. Are you a fan of this note? It's become popular lately, and I've got a ranked list here for you, a top 20 pistachio fragrances video. If you want to find out what they are, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Sebastian. I should say Happy Mother's Day. It's tomorrow, and I wanted to do something gourmandesque for Mother's Day. And I know that pistachio has been trending lately, but I don't know what kick-started the pistachio, craze. Has it been the KALI Yum Pistachio Gelato, or was it the Dias and Durga pistachio fragrance? I know there's a ton of them out there, and I've got 20 here, plus 3 budget options after the outro for those of you that are looking for something more budget. But I don't have all gourmands here. There are other fragrances that utilize pistachio that don't necessarily go gourmand, but obviously there's a ton of gourmand offerings as well. One thing I do want to say, I've been waiting to get my hands on a bottle of AIMEZ Stellar by MUGLER, and I do have Angel Stellar featured here, which I think is absolutely amazing. I absolutely love it, but sadly I don't have AIMEZ Stellar. If you've gotten your nose on AIMEZ Stellar, what are your thoughts? How much pistachio do you notice in that fragrance? Add a comment below, but let's get started with the list. First off, we're going to talk about a fragrance from the house of Hugo Boss. This is Elegant Vetiver. So they are combining vetiver, 2 types of vetiver with Java and Haiti with pistachios, but there's also ambery notes here, spices, musky notes, and aromatics. This is definitely a masculine take on pistachio. So if you like the idea of pistachio meshed with your favorite note of vetiver, if you're a fan of vetiver, this is definitely one for you to try. It doesn't go gourmand at all. It just adds a slight nutty kind of a layer, a bit green. And if you know the fragrance AIMEZ Comme Je Suis from the house of CARON, which is hazelnuts and vetiver, this is replacing the hazelnuts with pistachio. So that is Elegant Vetiver from the house of Hugo Boss. That is starting the fragrance at number 20. Let me know if you've sampled it. This next fragrance is from the house of THEODOROS KALOTINIS. This is Pistachio Latte. It's ranked pretty low, but it is an uber gourmand. But for me, this leans more almondy instead of pistachio, but also it's quite creamy. Like there's a custard creaminess, and it's so super sweet. So it's ranked here. It's not one of my favorites, but if you're a fan of gourmands, you should try it. If you like custardy, milky fragrances with nuttiness, you should try it. It does have a very almondy presence rather than pistachio to me, even though they have the notes breakdown of fresh pistachio, and milk. I get like uber intense boiled milk, almost making cream out of it. And it's very sweet and bitter at the same time. The bitterness of the almonds, which they don't mention almonds, but I get almondy touches here. So that's Pistachio Latte. I guess it's got the effect of latte, but it's more like boiled, like really boiled and thickened cream with almonds, not pistachios. Then we're going to a house called Sol de Janeiro. This is Sol CHEIROSA 62 with this most amazing looking disco ball effect with the top, the cap. I absolutely love the cap for this. What do you guys think? It's kind of hypnotizing, right? So this is actually more of a mass market offering from this house, and I bought it because of the cap, but also because of the idea of pistachios here. I think it's definitely pleasant. You can definitely pick up a more mass market, like ingredients in here, but it does have a caramelly, vanillic, nutty pistachio effect happening. So it's gourmand, it's sweet, but I wouldn't call this an uber sweet fragrance like the previous one. But you get the idea for sure. There's a almost like nutty paste, buttery kind of effect happening here. And I think it's the combination of all the notes together. But definitely the backbone of the fragrance seems like a lot of other mass market fragrances that you would find, at the counters at the department store. So that's Sol de Janeiro, Sol CHEIROSA. The name kind of confuses me for some strange reason because the names of the brand and the fragrance are a bit similar. But this next fragrance is from the house of KYSE Perfumes. This is Frangipane al Pistacchio. And I think it's a bit misnamed here. Kind of sort of like the THEODOROS KALOTINIS, which is not as much pistachio, even though they say it's pistachio. Here, it's also, you get the pistachio here for sure. You do. You don't get it much with the THEODOROS KALOTINIS. But this one also has almondy effect happening as well. So it's almondy, a lot of almondy, it's pistachio, plus kind of powdery floral touches as well. And there are other fragrances from this house that I appreciate a lot more, I enjoy a lot more. This isn't a bad fragrance. There's a marzipan-like effect here. It's very gourmand, but not sweet, more doughy, nutty, and vanillic and sugary. I think it's pleasant. Just check it out if you are into the idea of something like that. Don't forget there's flowers in there. The frangipane is the tropical floral note. All right, next going to the house of ADAMO Parfum. This is JUANILLO. This is a fragrance we featured last year in one of our mystery boxes. It was my favorite of the trio of fragrances that were launched from this line. This is, once again, a gourmand that's not uber sweet, but it does have pistachios, it does have coconut and dates. There's also lots of citruses with praline, musk, ambroxan, and, you know, it's pleasant. It's not super sweet, it's not sugary, tooth-rotting, and things like that, but it's a nice balance of kind of coconutty, milky, creamy nuttiness, and, you know, citruses and sweetness and things like that. It's very pleasant to wear. It won't overwhelm with its sweetness, as I was saying. Then we're going to a house called Degabord. This is Stardust Musk, this one right here. Are you guys familiar with this house? This is a musky fragrance, very, very powdery, utilizing pistachio, and they call it roasted pistachio powder. They also have dusty gourmand musk. They've got amber, powdery oud, cedar, tonka, orris, tobacco. And you know, you'll notice the pistachio effect happening here, but as I was saying, it's got lots of powder. So this is an overdose of powder, and it's very, very musky. There's a little bit of a Middle Eastern effect happening in this as well, and I believe that's coming from the powdery oud that they have in here. But it's really nicely done. I think it's super cozy, and even though it's quite powdery, there's a bit of a creamy effect happening, which always provides a kind of a comforting, cozy effect whenever I smell creamy fragrances. But this next fragrance is from the house of Kayali. It's Yum Pistachio Gelato 33. And so I was expecting a lot more gourmand with this one. It's turned out to be more of like a kind of a tease rather than really in-your-face pistachio. And I think what they were going for is the fact that they wanted to recreate something more creamy, gelato-like, rather than just like in-your-face pistachio. And even though you get the pistachio for sure, it's there, but there's a lot of creaminess here. For me, this is also reminding me a little bit of something, and I don't want to say it in a negative way, like a shampoo-like effect happening, like this really luxurious, something that I would find in Europe, not in the States much, where they have all these really great smells, especially when I go to France and when I go to Monoprix and I'm going through the products there and there's something really yummy smelling, I buy it and use it on my trip. And this is kind of what it's reminding me of. It does have gourmand note. It's got marshmallow. It's got cotton candy. Of course, the pistachio. Lots of creamy notes, nutty notes, and things like that. So you will get the effect, but it doesn't go fully gourmand for me, unfortunately, which is probably what they were going for. And then we're going to the house of Federico Cantelli. This is Pistachio Obsession, this one right here. So this one gives me lots of fruity vibes, and I'm not sure where I'm getting them because they don't mention any fruity notes in this, but maybe most likely the way the fragrance is composed. There is orange flower here. There's almond flower as well. There's lily of the valley. Of course, it's got lots of pistachios. It's got milk, vanilla, tonka, musk, and hazelnuts. There's a sour effect happening here, something tart. And I thought there would be like lemons or something, but it's the orange flower. Maybe that's what's providing it. But it's got a milk note. It's giving you the, the gelato kind of effect right there. And, one of my favorite things to have in Italy is a pistachio gelato. I absolutely love the way that tastes. I'm not sure we're getting it here, but it is definitely milky. It's a bit more liquidy and it's a bit more tart, but you definitely pick up the pistachios. It's nutty. And then also the hazelnuts in there. But something fruity and tart comes in there, which makes it a pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting it, and I'm getting that. But next, we're going to the House of Obvious. This is Un Pistache, this one right here. Now, this one gives me more raw pistachio vibes rather than roasted and salted and things like that. And so that's actually kind of a breath of fresh air with pistachio fragrances, because I've actually had plenty of raw pistachios. There's this skin that you have to peel, and under there, this really tasty, slightly green, nutty pistachio note, no saltiness, no roasting and things like that. So it gives me that kind of a vibe here, which is kind of cool. It doesn't go fully gourmand. It does go floral and spicy. There's neroli here. There's cardamom. There's pistachio milk, heliotrope, olibanum, sandalwood, cashmeran, musk, and carrots. And you definitely pick up the skin. Like there's a major smell of the skin. It's a bit green. It's nutty. It's a bit woody, a bit earthy. All those things come to mind here. And I think they did a great job. It's just if you want to wear something that's not necessarily gourmand. But this next fragrance kind of sort of reminds me of Un Pistache. This is New Notes Latte Pistachio. So they do have similarities, but I feel like the Latte Pistachio does go a bit more gourmand than the Un Pistache. And also I should say, New Notes has Latte Pistachio. THEODOROS KALOTINIS has Pistachio Latte. So which... I prefer the New Notes more than that THEODOROS, and even though I like that brand, that fragrance turned out to be so different for me. I wasn't expecting what I got. Very, very, like boiled milk with sweet and bitter almonds in there. Here we have pistachios, coriander, milk, cardamom. We've got sandalwood, amber, musk, orange. There is salty notes, which kind of tones down the sweetness. And we've got lemons in here as well. So there's the citrusy edge. But it reminds me of the Un Pistache a little bit. And also reminds me of the one that's coming after this from the house of AIMEZ. So there's these kind of like not necessarily full-on gourmand pistachio experiences. Here we've got a slight bit more than the Un Pistache with some lighter like this, sweeter touches. But in the end, I'm still getting the skin of the pistachio, the kind of like a raw pistachio. But then we're going to the house of AIMEZ. It's Un Jardin à Citer, this one right here. I actually really like this as a AIMEZ fragrance. And even though it has those kind of mass market qualities to it, and it's also probably the only gourmand-leaning fragrance from the Jardin collection. I think Christine Nagel did a really great job with it. It's got the olive wood note. It's got dry grass. It's got pistachio, so it's a bit creamy. It's a bit nutty, and just a really great fragrance. It's not necessarily very strong. It's an eau de toilette. It wears kind of thin on the skin, very close to the skin, I should say. And I like the way the olive wood and the grassy notes and that, pistachio note in there, the way they all work together. I think even though I mentioned the Un Pistache, the AIMEZ, and the New Notes are kind of similar, there's definitely a lot of differences between the three fragrances as well. Then we've got a fragrance from the house of Born to Stand Out. This is Happy Nuts. Are you guys familiar with this one? So Born to Stand Out has some really unique names for their fragrances. They can get quite naughty. This one, I guess it's kind of bordering, I guess. What do you guys think? But in the end, this is chock full of nuts. It's why it's called Happy Nuts. We've got pistachio here, we've got almonds, and we've got black sesame, which are nutty notes. Then we have davana, honey, caramel, vanilla, gaiac, tobacco, gray amber, tonka, patchouli, white musks, and rum. So it does get a bit boozy, it does get musky, but I like the fact that it has the patchouli, so it has kind of sticky, caramelly, honeyed notes as well, but lots of nutty notes with the pistachios, almonds, and black sesame. Let me know if you guys are fans of sesame as a note. That's another video I'm thinking about doing. Put a comment down below. But the next fragrance from the house of Ojar, this is Halwa Kiss, this one right here. This definitely is my favorite fragrance from the house of Ojar. I think they did a great job with it. It's honeyed, sweet, but once again, not tooth-rottingly sweet, but this is definitely sweeter than something like Happy Nuts. It just has sesame seeds once again. It's got dates, it's got honey, roasted nuts, amber, vanilla, pistachios. Really nicely done. Sweet and spicy, nutty, gourmand, but doesn't overwhelm. Just really pleasant in the way it's done. It does have a very Middle Eastern effect happening here with the notes breakdown as well. And even though it's not mentioned here, I do get a bit of rosy touch with this one as well. But it's a super fantastic fragrance from the house. Halwa Kiss. Let me know if you're a fan of that one. Then we're going to the house of Gallagher Fragrances, which had a different collection called Pearlescent Parfums, but I think they've joined the two collections together. This is Baklava from the house of Gallagher / Pearlescent Parfums, and it's a really great take on a baklava fragrance. And for me, it's got lots of nutty notes, pistachio, but they've thrown in more gourmand notes in here, fruity gourmand notes like cherries. There's orange, bergamot, almonds, pistachios, neroli, baklava note. There's honey, vanilla, patchouli, musk. The musk has a bit of funk, and it's got a lot of patchouli, so it does remind me a little bit of maybe the Dias and Durga and the Angel Stellar, but you can totally pick up the cherries in here, so it's got that fruitiness, and that's what's giving me a bit of a curveball, which typically is not found in baklava. but I like it here in the fragrance. So that is Gallagher Fragrances Baklava at number 7. Then we go into a fragrance that I haven't spoken much about. I bought this before I left on the trip from Lucky Scent, and then I never spoke about it. But finally, I'm getting to feature it here. I like the idea of this one because it's a sweet and savory gourmand, and meaning it's got sweet notes, it's got savory, salty notes in there, so it's got a unique characteristic about it, and that's what I like about it. This is Le Noble Essences, this is Mirage Gourmand, and a really pleasant fragrance that, again, as I said, sweet and savory at the same time. It's got almond cake, pistachio, hazelnuts, tonka, vanilla, white musk, woods, and even though they don't mention any savory notes here, I think it's the nutty notes that are in here that's providing like a roasted nuts, you know, salty kind of effect, which is what I'm kind of getting here with the sweetness of some of the notes. If you like the idea of savory fragrances, this is something you should try. And again, it's got sweetness, it's also got the salty savory effect in here as well, so it makes for a very unique kind of a nutty sweet and savory gourmand. So that is Mirage Gourmand. Let me know if you're familiar with that one. Next up, going to the house of Sensatio. This is Golden Pistachio, this one right here. This was recently featured in our Scent Club mystery box. Did you guys get your box? What did you think about this fragrance? This one is a really delicious gourmand take on pistachio, and it's got fruitiness, creaminess, milkiness, and of course uber nuttiness. And it has pistachios and also almonds. No, it has tonka as well, but it also has quite a bit of fruitiness and also booziness as well, which is really a great take on a, you know, pistachio focused gourmand fragrance. Makes for a really wonderful wear. It's not overwhelming. It's also creamy, milky with an ice cream note. I think it's just really super delicious the way they've created this fragrance. This is Golden Pistachio. Let me know if you're familiar with that one and what you thought about it when you got the mystery box. But next, going to the house of Diaz and Durga. This is Pistachio. So Diaz and Durga's Pistachio, is this the one that really kickstarted the pistachio trend? I don't know, but I've mentioned in videos, the first time I got my nose on a really great pistachio fragrance was from the house of Laura Mercier, and it was called Crème de Pistache. And Angel Stellar kind of reminds me of it, and also Moonlight Whisper kind of reminds me of it. That's been long discontinued though, the Laura Mercier. But this one actually came out as a limited edition, then they brought it in as a permanent collection. I really do love it. I do get a bit of the angel qualities, the Mugler angel qualities, but this is chock full of pistachios. In fact, it has pistachios for top notes, heart notes, and base notes, along with creamy notes. It's got patchouli and vanilla as well. And I think it's a great gourmand from the house, but I wouldn't call this uber sweet gourmand. Again, the most intense gourmand fragrance in this collection is Pistachio Latte from THEODOROS KALOTINIS. This one, because it has the patchouli, it tones down the sweetness that there are in the fragrance, but it's quite nutty and of course vanillic and creamy, but lots of patchouli, which is what I like. That is a great fragrance from the house of Diaz and Durga. Then we're going to the house of Mugler. It's Angel Stellar, and as I said, I don't have my bottle of AIMEZ Stellar. I've been waiting for it. It's almost been a month and I haven't received it, and I ordered it from somewhere, so I hope it's not stuck in customs somewhere. I'm going to be pissed off. But this is so good, guys. If you haven't caught my video on Angel Stellar, please go catch it. It's a super delicious fragrance. Even, I think, unisex enough for a man to pull off, because in the end, it's patchouli, which is a focus note in Angel. Lots of pistachio and bergamot. There's no white flowers in this. It's gourmand with patchouli. I think a man can totally pull it off because it's also really great. I think this is one of the best Mugler Angel fragrances that I bought in recent years. And I think they did such a great job with this one. It's totally worth it. Again, it's not like the original Mugler Angel that launched in 1992, the vintage, the OG, but it's so good. So good. I think if you are a fan of the Mugler Angel DNA and you like the idea of pistachio, definitely check out that fragrance because like I said, I think it's totally worth it. Then going to the house of Atelier Materi. This is Neroli Hasbaya. Really yummy take on pistachio with the overdose of neroli and orange blossom. And for me, growing up in the Middle East, there's a delicacy. It's a orange blossom ice cream, vanilla ice cream with orange blossom in it. So you taste the orange blossom and it's sprinkled with pistachios on top. This is exactly what this fragrance reminds me of. A delicacy I grew up eating. It's so super delicious. The nuttiness and the citrusy floral touches along with that creamy vanilla ice cream. So yummy. That's the effect I get with Neroli Hasbaya, and it's just totally yum, delicious. So yummy. It's not like the nuttiest fragrance because even in the dessert it's sprinkled with chopped pistachios, so it's more about the neroli and the vanilla ice cream, but still you get the nuttiness of the pistachio. Is so yummy. That was number 2. And then at number 1, it is from the house of Experimental Perfume Club. It's Pistachio Haiku. So I shot a video with the founder of Experimental Perfume Club. If you haven't caught that video, please go catch it. We spoke about this fragrance in that video, and I fell in love with this one the last couple times I saw the brand at Aix-en-Provence and finally met with them in London. So it's a really nutty, yummy take on a green fragrance with a lot of pistachio leaves or pistachio nuts, but there's also hazelnuts here, fig leaves, there's cedarwood, vetiver, and benzoin, but super nicely made. It's a kind of realistic smelling nutty notes, the gourmand notes, but it's, again, not caramelly, sweet, sticky, sugary, just nutty and, that kind of a gourmand. But definitely you have the greenness from the fig leaves here, and I think that's what's providing that unique characteristic and smell of the pistachio leaves and the pistachio nuts in here. Really nicely done. I think I've grown to enjoy the fragrances of this house, especially their gourmands, and definitely Pistachio Haiku is a really yummy fragrance, and it deserves to be at number 1. Anyway, those are my fragrance options for the pistachio fragrances list. It's a top 20 list, and let me know your thoughts on these fragrances. And if you have a favorite pistachio fragrance I did not discuss today, let me know your thoughts, what they are. Add a comment so I can find out. And if you're a mom, happy Mother's Day tomorrow, and stay tuned for the bonus options. Otherwise, please like this video, please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. So as I said, I have a few bonus options, first of which is Sarah Jessica Parker's Stash SJP, this one right here. This is a celebrity fragrance, but probably one of the most amazing, one of the best celebrity fragrances. It's also not gourmand. This is very woody, very creamy woody with a nutty effect, and it has a really prominent Masoya wood note in here with pistachio. But for a while it was gone, but now I see it at the discounters again. It's really inexpensive, around 30 bucks. I think it's totally, one that you should look for and get and have in your collection. Again, one of the best celebrity fragrances out there. It's still around. Get it before it's completely gone. And again, it's not full-on gourmand. In fact, it's more woody, it's more creamy and aromatic and spicy, but it has that slight nuttiness with the pistachio. So that is Stash SJP from the house of Sarah Jessica Parker. Then it's Zara's Moonlight Whisper Intense. This is just absolutely delicious. I left it here as a bonus option because the rest of the fragrances were on the pricier side. This is more of a budget fragrance. It's like 40 bucks for 100 ml, so really great price for a really quality fragrance. And this is a fragrance that reminds me of Laura Mercier's Pistache, Creme de Pistache, but really nicely done, really gourmand. It kind of reminds me of Sol CHEIROSA 62 as well, but I prefer this one a bit more. But definitely check it out if you can't. I don't even know if it's still selling. It was brought back for a bit. And last but not least, it's Le Monde Gourmand's Pistachio Brulee for a very budget take on a pistachio. It's pistachio crumbs, milky notes, and vanilla notes. And it might be at the discounters, and it also could be at places like TJ Maxx and Marshall's for like 10 bucks for a 30 ml. At Amazon, this sells for about 25 bucks. Anyway, those are my thoughts on pistachio fragrances. If you have a favorite I didn't discuss today, do add a comment and let me know what it is.